let the dogs out? Who 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 let the dogs out?
Hey everyone, it's Pup Twigs here in Orlando, Florida. And joining me as my guest today, I've got Pup Tigger from Indianapolis, Indiana. How are you?
Hello, hello.
So what's the pup life like in Indiana?
The pup life here is actually seen starting to grow pretty good. This past Saturday, about 20 of us got together out at a park during the daytime and hung out and played some games, and then later on met up at a restaurant, had dinner, and then went up to one of our local bars here called Greg's, and it's all to celebrate his birthday. So it's a great turnout. Had a lot of fun. It was a really fun event. So
That's
and
always
there's
fun.
others, that go on. So typically, we're trying to get a good scene going here, and yeah, lots of
Awesome.
good
Well,
things.
the first thing that I always like to find out about the pups that I have as guests is I like to find out how you picked your name, Pup Tigger, and also is there any significance with the colors of your puphood?
Sure, yeah. So myself, like a lot of other pups, I love music, and one of my favorite bands of all time is the Grateful Dead, and
Oh,
huge fan of Jerry Garcia, and he had this his favorite guitar had a tiger on it, and so I have a that tiger is on my arm as a tattoo, and so when I was looking for a pup name, Pup Tiger didn't quite strike a chord, but looking around at other tiger type characters. I was also a big fan of Winnie the Pooh growing up, and
mm.
Tigger. So yeah, I love Tigger. He's one of my favorite characters. So
You can't see it too well. It's upside down there, but I've actually got a tiger on my arm
yeah, nice.
coming down with its paws and stuff. So
Right, yeah, yeah.
so how also tell me about your hood before we move on.
Yeah, yeah. So in the colors like black and gray, or Jerry always wore a black T-shirt when he performed,
Hmm.
and as another ode to Grateful Dead, touch of gray, so a little bit of gray in the hood, but the red's a little bit more of my naughtier side,
Okay, that's all right.
and white is like, well, virginity's been long gone, so I don't know. It's more of an accent color, something to pop when it's under the neon for a lights out bark out.
Oh, there you go. Well, I like the color mix of your hood. It's pretty cool looking.
Thank you very much. Yeah, this is a recent one that came in as custom from Mr. S. So,
No, well, yeah,
really,
this
really loving this one. Yeah.
yeah, I have a lot of stories to tell about Mr. S. I ordered a hood, not thinking that there's two different kinds of hood. There's a K9 and then there's a I forget the other kind.
Frisky.
Frisky. Well, I ordered off the Frisky order form thinking this is what I was going to get. Well, Frisky doesn't have the whiskers.
Right, right. Yeah.
So I got that
Sure.
one in and I thought, oh, I ordered the wrong one. So then I had to turn around and order another one. And this one, I've had it um, almost a month now.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So yeah, I love it. I started out with just the muzzle because in Florida it was too hot. But
Oh,
once I
yeah.
got to play around with these neoprenes from Mr. S, yeah, I'm going to stick with this. I like it better.
Yeah, that's with mine. I think on that point, I think the next one I'm gonna get is going to be a frisky one. I have a little bit of a beard that kind of keep it short, but yeah, this little piece under here sometimes kind
Yeah.
of. So,
Well, how long have you been a pup?
this probably is going into my second year now.
Okay.
But I've been aware of the pup scene for a number of years. Had some friends that were in the pup scene and polyamorous, and kind of getting to know them, and sort of slowly sort of seeing that progression of lifestyle, and learning more about the scene and stuff. That's how I sort of came into it, and somewhat more in through the kink and leather community.
Hmm. Well, being the almost 2 years into it, what have you seen for yourself has been the easiest part of being in the community, and then what has been a more difficult part of being a part of the community?
Yeah. I think for me the perhaps the easiest part was having sort of had seen it from an outside looking on perspective for a little while,
Hmm.
and then doing a little bit of due diligence or researching a little bit ahead of time, and then being, like I said, I kind of came to it via through the kink, leather community,
Right.
and so um, asking some questions, doing a little bit of research, having a little bit of idea of what it was about before kind of getting into it. So that I felt like that was the easiest part. The and this challenge part, I don't know, I'd say like overall there seems to be it's definitely to some extent skews younger. Um,
Hmm.
I like that. But being I guess you'd say a little bit of an older pup, I uh, sometimes wanted to just make sure that I'm not perceived as like the creepy old pup.
Oh, yeah, I gotcha. And I'm the same way because it's hard to see on here, but I just turned 60 back this past January. And so yeah, I kind of feel the same way at times and stuff. I don't want to be the creepy old pup.
Right, right, yeah, yeah. But I love the youthful energy of the young pups and stuff. I mean, that's I'm a mid 50s pup, and like but my head space is constantly still like in that 20 or 30s year
Oh
old
yeah.
set, and I just love the youthful energy that the younger pups have, and the curiosity and the playfulness and stuff. That's
I, I got you. Yeah, my husband's 37, so there's a pretty
yeah.
big age difference between us because I always was attracted to the younger. So
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm married and in an open relationship. My husband's not really into pup play, but we're 17 years together, and so we recognize that there's life's too short to just kind of sort of be confined to one set of expectations, and there's some things that just one other person can't always give another person,
yeah.
to be able to have that freedom and love and commitment to be able to go and explore, and at the end of the day we still love each other deeply, but it's nice to be able to go and have fun and ex, experience things that otherwise might not be able to.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Well, if there was one thing that you could change about our community, what would you want to change?
I think I mean, there seems to be, most recently I attended Claw, and
Hmm.
but I've also been to North American Bear 2 or 3 times, probably about 3 times now, and been to IML and Texas Bear Roundup. So I've been to a number of events, and over the years, it seems like they're slowly, starting to have a few more pup events. But I'll have to say, like, I was most impressed with Claw this year. It had a really great turnout for pups, and
Good, good.
so I would love to see like more events, or maybe even perhaps, as the community grows, that we could even maybe just have a whole like convention that was all about
Yes.
pubs, if you would, So that that would be my hope for the community, you know.
That would be like MegaCon, only it's all about pups.
Yeah.
So
And think about that. I do also want to just offer this, you know, thing that was on my mind as I've kind of caught up on some of the previous episodes that you had posted, and some of the other pups uh, opinions and thoughts. As our community grows, and like I was saying, I kind of came through this through more of the kink side exposure to it. That I think it's a conversation that the community at large needs to have, but we need to kind of be a little bit aware, perhaps, of how we want to be perceived to the larger community as a whole, and what does that mean? Because like I guess in one sort of simple way of phrasing, it's like do we wouldn't, I would hope, not ever want like little seventh or eighth grade Susie or Johnny to say like, "Hey, I want to wear a pup mask because it makes I want to be a pup." This is I feel like this is solely my opinion, but this is like an adult type thing, and certainly more kink centric. I know there's some pups that will say like, no, it doesn't have to be, a sexual thing, and I agree with that. But at the heart, that's where this all came from and started, and we need to, be aware and acknowledge that. And for a lot of us, it is about that side of it, and so it's just something, like I say, just I think something that we should take a look as we continue to grow and are seen out in other public areas and stuff like that. Like I said, this past weekend when we were out in the park and stuff like that, there one of the picnic shelters nearby, there was like a table with kids getting ready to have a birthday party and stuff, and a couple of us had our pup hoods on and stuff like that. So that's kind of a little bit to my point of what I'm trying to illustrate.
No, I totally understand that.
Because children will say that, "Oh, that looks really fun. I want a puppy mask. I want to be a pup." And I'm like, well, yeah. When you turn 21, yes, we'll have that discussion then. But this is not,
That's right. When you hit adult and then you
Right.
want to do it, that's okay.
Right. Yeah.
So what advice would you give someone that's just now thinking about wanting to get into the community?
I would say, try to certainly get out, and if there's, an event or, bars or something where that pups may be, go out and see that and talk to some of the pups and stuff like that. And if you're not in one of those type areas, perhaps at least, search it out online. There's the Pup Space website, and then there's you can certainly like Google, pull up a lot of things, but I'd certainly say like as I did myself, like do some research, find out where a little bit about the history of how this started, where it comes from, a little bit of understanding some of the terminology and stuff. I mean, for myself, like I admittedly was a bit confused about some of the terminology like alpha, beta, delta. Honestly, still kind of not really sure about the omega and delta side. I think I've got a better understanding of alpha and beta, but and then I had a bit confused myself about like well, do I need a handler? Do I need to have a name and stuff like that? And there's a lot of good resources out online to help you find that and answer some of those questions. And so that would be my advice. Just take it with approach, and ask yourself like what is it about this community and or pup persona that you see? What is it that appeals to you, and why is it appealing to you, and what is it that you want to get out of it? Ask yourself those questions, and that can kind of help you have a better understanding, because there again, I think, like I said, for a lot of us, it is a more of a kink fetish type outlet, and if that's not the angle that you're coming at it from, then certain environments you can be pretty disappointed.
Yeah.
So, you know, uh,
So what brings Pup Tigger the most joy out of pup play? And on top of that, do you have any special play toys that you like?
so the thing that brings me the most joy is just the interaction with the younger pups, and you know, having a chance to be silly, be fun,
Hmm.
to some extent, you know, relive some youthful glory days gone
Yeah.
by, if you will, you know, in a sense. I mean, you know, I'm of an age where, unfortunately, I didn't come out late in life, to being gay until after, you know, two marriages to women and at like age 38. But at a much earlier, younger age, I was fully aware that I was at a minimum bi, but you know, my
Hmm.
first sexual experience was with a boy, and and you know, like I said, but through, you know, some religious upbringing and some familial type things and a unfortunate circumstance. I mean, it just, I played it straight. And two, right about the age when I was, you know, hitting puberty was right when AIDS was breaking. So
Yeah.
that scared the hell out of me. And so it was a long road to kind of fully coming to terms and accepting who I was and being out with that.
Yeah.
And so, you know, now I get to sort of somewhat relive some of those, you know, days that I feel like I missed out on.
Well,
That's what I get out of it. I enjoy that a lot.
okay. Well, on a more serious note, what has being a pup done for your mental wellness?
It has definitely helped me become more outgoing in my like human world persona.
Hmm.
I'm typically a very like A-type alpha personality, um, especially sometimes more in a public type scenario. But then, you know, at home behind closed doors with my husband, I can, you know, be more, um, uh, maybe still more like a alpha beta, you know, I don't know, or a Dom bottom or something. I'm not, you know, but it, but yeah, but two, for a while I had been working remote from home, and we had also relocated, you know, up to Indianapolis here the past few years. And so not having an outlet to get out and meet people, and just in general, you know, being a new person in a location and stuff. So it kind of proved to be, you know, a bit more challenging. But then as I discovered the pup play, and you know, that there was a pup scene here, it's really helped in a lot of ways to
Good,
meet
good,
people and make some friendships, connections, and stuff like that. Yeah, I'm you know, really uh, thankful for that. Yeah,
good.
it's been
Well,
wonderful help.
well, what kind of hobbies do you like to get out and do there in Indianapolis?
Well, as you know, like India is a very sport-centric, friendly
Yes, it
town. So
is.
I mean, you know, we got the Coles, got the Pacers, the, you know, the Fever and stuff like that. So and the weather is now just turning really nice. So it's a wonderful time to get out here. We got the, you know, ramping up now for the month of May for the big Indianapolis 500.
Yes,
So the month of May is something definitely to experience here in Indianapolis. But so with that, I mean, I love to go out and go golfing. You know, got some really nice bike hiking and biking trails around here.
nice.
I love to do some travel and stuff, but also I do a bit of painting, and so I um, I do. This is a
Oh my
oil
God.
painting.
Wow.
Last year with some friends, we went to a trip to Paris and took a picture, and so this is a painting from that picture. This one's in oil, and then also did another version of it. That's this one's in acrylic, and it's a little
That
more
is really awesome.
of it.
Do you just do it for fun or do you sell them or
Yeah, at this point, it's really, yeah, just more of, you know, fun, a little bit of a hobby.
yeah.
So, uh, I feel like it'd be one of those things if I was pressured to have to create every day as a full-time artist, it might like sort of take the fun out of it.
Yeah, of
And
course.
so I really, try not to and usually I just sort of paint whatever inspires me.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
there's no one particular theme that I continue to paint.
yeah. Well, that is awesome. I wish I had the artistry to be able to do something like that, but unfortunately, I don't have that gene.
I appreciate it. Well, ideally, I would, if I could trade, I would rather to be able to play a guitar. As much as I love music, I mean, ideally, hindsight, I would have loved to have been a rock and roll band.
Oh, yeah, well, there you go.
Yeah.
So tell me about you had mentioned earlier about the community there in Indianapolis. What kind of events do you guys have ongoing for your get-togethers there?
Yeah, so we have a group here called the Indianapolis Pet Handlers Group, and then they, along with there's another group called Circle City Leather that recently hosted an event, and then there's a little venue dungeon like space that hosts events different times. Called Subspace, and then the one gay bar here that typically the pups congregate at is called Greg's, and so oftentimes on Friday nights they're quote unquote gear night. So pretty much oftentimes you'll see people with harnesses or gear, pup hoods, leather.
Hmm.
And then typically Greg's also about once a quarter will host like a leather weekend. We just had that this past weekend, and they'll have a vendor come in from out of town. This past time they had the vendor Niche Leather from out in Fort Wayne come down for the weekend.
Okay.
So yeah, we're slowly growing it. I would love to see us at some point in time have a lights out bark out, but that we've not had that. But luckily Indianapolis, we're luckily situated in a prime center spot where we have Chicago, about
Oh,
three and a
yeah.
half hours away. We've got Columbus, Ohio, Cincinnati, Lexington, Louisville, St. Louis. So and those all usually have some pup centric events going on, especially Chicago.
Oh,
Love
yeah.
going to
Yeah.
Chicago. Always a fun time in Chicago. So
Oh, of
shout
course.
out to the Windy City pets and handler groups up there.
I've been to IML twice and love it.
Yeah, yeah. You'll
So,
find me at the Jackhammer cell block.
yeah. Oh, yeah. So if you could go out and meet someone, whether it be a public figure, celebrity, sports, past or present, who would you want to meet?
Uh, this is going to seem kind of simplistic, but I'm gonna have to go with my idol. I would love to have met Dre Garcia.
Yeah. Oh, I hear you.
I would have picked his brain for hours.
Yeah.
He was a fascinating individual. Had there again musical abilities, but also a great artist in himself as well.
Hmm.
Um, and just well read and seemed like the epitome of a super chill kind of really awesome guy. And so yeah, I would have that would have been my dream to have met him. But I've been lucky to have met a few, celebrities and stuff over the years. Used to follow racing really good, and was able to meet Jeff Gordon.
Well,
So met him, got some autographs from him.
that's nice. That's awesome. Well, now it's to that point where you want to share any social media in case other pups may want to reach out to you.
Sure, yeah. Typically, I mean, like I'm on Facebook as Pup Tigger, and then I'm also on X and Blue Sky as Pup Tigger 69 on both of those.
Okay. All right. Well, any last words you'd like to leave with us?
Yeah, I'd just say thanks for all the pups that make this community such an awesome, awesome community, and Hope we continue to grow and make this community really stronger. And anybody that's ever in Indianapolis and wants to say hello, reach out and say hello. Love to see you, or sometime up at Greg's or something like that, and let's have a awesome time. So,
I hear you. Well, Pup Tigger, it's been awesome getting to have you on, and hopefully it won't be the last time we talk.
sounds great. I love it.
All right. Hey, have a good
Awesome
one.
day.